Kate.
Oh, Vlad.
Let's talk about the reason why we started this company,
Yeah.
basically, which is low rates of participation in benefit programs. And this is literally like my own personal hell where I live Groundhog Day every day. I remember
Yeah.
in like 2005 when I first got into the industry, I could not believe that every year, I worked at Towers Perrin at the time, every year we were recommending new benefit programs. Every year we would install something. Every year employees wouldn't actually participate in them.
Right.
And every year we'd blame the vendor and fire them. Every year.
Just like a brutal cycle.
A brutal cycle.
Brutal cycle.
Nobody was happy. And I was like, for sure, one day, not too long from now, this will change. We're in like
How many years later?
2024.
Yeah.
I just turned 40 years old. I was a little like intern at the time. I literally don't understand how we're still here.
Yeah, we are.
Here we are.
We are.
And I want us to talk a little bit about like how we approach that conversation, because I think it's a tricky one. It can be a little triggering. But inevitably, like most organizations that are hiring Airbo are not hiring Airbo because they need another text message vendor. Like that's not why we're here. We're here to increase benefits engagement.
Yes.
And typically when you work with a client, I mean, I'd love to hear, like, how do you approach that problem? How do you coach them through where they are today and, like, getting them to, I think, that place of being confident that communications is that missing gap.
Yep.
And showing them real outcomes.
Yeah.
So pretend I'm, maybe PepsiCo. They'll probably, they'll probably sue us for doing this.
Oh boy.
But if you're watching,
we can help you if this is one of your problems. So I would definitely start by learning what the main claims are. Like, where are they spending the most money? What are they having the most challenges with?
So you literally
their
ask
population?
them, like, what is your...
Every company has a top 5. And like the most common ones that I hear are musculoskeletal. I can never say that without a doubt. So I'm just going to say MSK going forward.
We'll go with it.
Diabetes, cancer, unfortunately, is fairly common. There's some stuff with, we'll just stick with those 3 actually for now. So like those tend to be pretty much in most groups.
Okay. I want to pause right there and just say that reflects a very different perspective on the world that says, actually, communications is not just some tactical check the box thing. Like, if there was one thing that I wish I could just change in the industry, it would be, let's hold benefit communications to the same standard that we hold everything else to. What is your performance? If you can't tell me how, like, that poster moved the needle or that postcard to the home moved the needle, whatever we're blowing that cash on moved the needle, let's just drop it. Because, like, that's the standard that consumer companies are held to. There's a reason why all ad spend now flows through Google and Facebook. And I think that we have to bring that attitude to benefit communications if we're going to actually, like, shift adoption for these kinds of conditions. Okay, so... that already is, I think, a really big deal that you're asking those questions up front. So you've asked, you've gotten those answers. What next?
Yeah. So then I would focus in one to start. And like, let's just use diabetes for an example. So
give me a vendor. Who's a vendor in diabetes?
Livongo.
Okay.
They're a super wonderful vendor, very popular, that they have multiple different like products or services that will help an employee. I've heard stories of people getting off insulin completely by using this management program.
That's so cool.
Yeah, there's like many stories where like when an employee knows about it and they have the challenge, it does fundamentally change people's lives, which is what we all want to do.
Yeah, Livongo.
Yeah.
We appreciate you.
Yeah, we do. But I mean, that's what benefits are there for. Benefit the employee.
Yeah. It's a good pun. We
Yeah.
like it. We love alliteration.
Yeah. Would find out one, like what the really like one, what the honestly the spend is that they're like spending on that. And then
Like how much they're paying for the program?
No, how much they're paying in claims.
Oh, the claims.
For
Okay.
people that have like that condition.
Okay.
And then from there, what have they implemented to help mitigate those claims? And so once we kind of know those, we can start to dig deeper into, okay, again, Live On Go, like what is your participation level? And then also, what is the participation level of Live On Go like estimated for your population? Because like
Wait, you mean estimated like it was projected when they
projected,
bought?
thank you.
Okay.
Yeah. So like what was the projections for Live On Go when you purchased it? And where are you relative to that? And then from there, like once we know, okay, and in some cases, like I've heard of tools like Live On Go getting like 2% participation.
What should it be? What's the target?
I don't know off the top of my head. I think it's pretty specific for a company.
Yeah.
Depending on what their challenges are.
Yeah, but it's more than 2% of a typical
Yes.
employee population in
Yes.
America is probably eligible
Yes.
to use their
Yes.
tool.
Yes. I would say that I'm sure even getting like 15% is probably huge for a company with a larger population that has like severe diabetes issues.
Yeah.
And so once we know the number of like where they're currently at, we can put together a strategy for how we would increase that. And then as you just mentioned, like look at, okay, if we're sending a QR code out, are you tracking that? Or if you're doing a poster and it has like a QR code, are you tracking if people are actually using that specific QR code to download the Live On Go app? Mm-hmm. And so it's like really what seemingly seems like basic things, but then you can start to see like what actual communications move the needle.
Yeah.
For these different tools. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say that like a lot of what we do is we'll send out, like, for example, we did a study with Michelin like in 2011.
Yeah.
We're literally sending out reminder texts to people with a link to an action dramatically increased. I mean, I'm going to butcher it now because it's been so many years, but it was like 70% plus increase in participation rates amongst disengaged people. So like these interventions don't have to be super hardcore, but obviously we see that when employees participate in Airbo tiles, it's going to be more effective than maybe just a text, and it'll get more people.
Yeah.
But yeah, being able to like track that back and say this.
Where did this sign up come from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And this is sort of like the missing piece of the puzzle when we're doing this math. It's like when a company purchases Live On Go, they're like, there's a consultant often, or the salesperson or the broker has done math that says this is your expected projected savings. And like one of the ways I believe that's very fair to evaluate benefit engagement tools and benefit engagement strategies is like, what is the delta that was able to be generated in that participation rate? And what is the monetary value that we expect to get back based on our ROI model? Yeah. And when you like do that across all of your benefits, you're suddenly sitting there being like, oh, this is like a pretty big pot.
Exactly,
There's like a lot of like low-hanging fruit that we could sort of reap. And
Yeah, and so it's really like you need to get the employee to sign up for the benefit, like go through, usually with a lot of like programs like this, they have to go through almost like an application, but essentially like confirm that this will help them. And then you can start seeing, okay, like now that I have a person that's in this program, what is the cost savings going to be for me? And then you can see it actually happen over time. And also like make a huge impact on a person's life. Yeah. Like even beyond the cost, you know?
No, I mean, that's why we're all here ultimately.
Yeah, exactly.
It's like most Americans, this is their safety net. And it's important they know how to use it.